Are you ready? Perfect. Okay, Adam Bean, freelancer, one-man show. Started with Java in 1995. Since 1997, I'm freelancer. Really freelancer. Never worked for a larger company or smaller company. So actually never worked really. Just free partisan hacker, I would say. Before I forget, if you ask me a question which is somehow related to Java or JavaFX, or at least Java E, you get a t-shirt. And please ask many questions because the t-shirts are heavy. And they take lots of space in my bag. And this is the only talk I have today, so lots of questions. What I'm also glad is JavaFX talk is so well attended. The next time I will do something like JavaFX on microservices with HTML5, then it will be full. But right now it's almost full, it's also okay. Thank you for coming. Some references. I write a blog, Twitter account, and Airhacks is the workshop at Munich Airport. Okay, this is the logo. And then, who attended the talk last year? Probably something similar, probably with the title Enterprise JavaFX at JavaOne. Someone attended last year? Okay, I got really good class evaluations, but I was absolutely not satisfied with my performance. And why not? The last year I explained model view presenter and passive view and whatever, and then actually during the flight back, I thought, who actually cares about all the patterns, right? I mean, usually in the practice, you just pick one and go with it. So what I will try to fix it this time, so I just have 2 slides with the basic idea, and then implement from scratch a JavaFX application in my way, and this is an MVP application, and explain you why it's productive, or why it's productive we'll hopefully see, but why it works this way. This is actually the idea for today. Hope it's okay, and please ask me questions. So, and what I will start with, yeah.
What do the t-shirts look like?
The t-shirt look like this, and no, Java related, and this is a t-shirt related, but the back is, you can compile the back. It is Java E code, but you can get over it. So, so what I will also use in my presentation, just warning, a small framework is not even framework. There are 2 classes. And you can build it by yourself or not. Actually, it was 2, now are 3. But you could put it in 1 class. But I was separation of concerns. It really doesn't matter. Look at the source code, there's nothing. So you could build it by yourself. So, and I actually don't care whether you use the framework or not. It's Apache licensed, but it's surprisingly successful. Someone uses it already, probably? Who uses Afterburner? No one. Because at JavaOne, I got already 2 new projects who are using some robots at the university, something really interesting. And I was surprised that so many people are using this. So it was actually just a proof of concept. But now it's at least a small framework on GitHub. To use it, you only have to have 1 single dependency, and I think this is about the dependency, I don't know, 40K or something, so no external dependency is nothing. And, or use Maven archetype, which I will use in a few seconds. And this is the last slide. So what will happen, what I will do today is, I will use the scene builder, because it has to be fast. A scene builder is the tool which is meant to create UIs quickly and productively. The problem always was, I don't know whether you remember Matisse from NetBeans, or from Eclipse was even more interesting, right, what happened then. But IntelliJ form builder, what all the tools did, they generated lots of code, and you got hooks or protected regions, and you can fill out your code in the blanks there. The problem was you were dependent on the code. And what we did in the past with Swing is we let the generated code inherit or implement an interface, and our controller was just depending on the interface, so we could easily regenerate the code because Matisse was not perfect. From time to time, everything became inconsistent, and we had to redraw the UI again, or just roll back in Subversion. That's what we did, right? So what is the difference in JavaFX? The difference is inversion of control. So the scene builder right now generates code, but you don't see it. And the scene builder calls your code. Not like your code is depending on scene builder is depending on your code. And this changes everything. That's the first idea from today's talk. Why the first time in the age of Java, visual editing tools could actually work. And if they don't, you can still partially write your own code, your hooks. And this is what really work well in my projects, lots of projects. And I always use a SynBuilder. And actually, my open source project like Lightfish, I rewrote with SynBuilder afterwards because I was able to delete lots of code and was easier to maintain for me. Questions so far? Inversion of control. As always, solution to all your problems, right? So you got the idea? And how it works behind the scenes, there's an fxml loader, and it loads an XML file, which is generated by SynBuilder. And the return value is a parent, which is very similar to jPanel and Swing. And you just plug the parent to your not frame, to your stage, and you are basically set. This is and the next question is, OK, but if I have a button or text field, how to bind the listeners to my action listeners? And this happens with dependency injection provided by fxml loader. So there are annotations. You will see it in source code, fxml. Pardon? Not CDI? No, fxml. But they didn't, I think they don't even know that this is dependency injection because on one talk I mentioned there's actually a great idea. There's a really dependency injection. This fxml is the annotation. Afterburner is able to do inject as well, a different story. But fxml comes with JavaFX. So, and the next hack is, the last hack, how Afterburner works is behind the scenes. The fxml loader, now it gets meta a little bit, loads fxml files. In this fxml file, you can specify the controller. This is your class. No requirement except default constructor. And if you have a public method, this public method can be used as action listener of a button or whatever. And in this presenter, you can inject UI fields, whatever is generated or not. You are not required to inject this stuff, but you can. You got so far? So, and now, how Afterburner implements the dependency injection. And now there is one really nice thing in the fxml loader. You can register, I think it's called controller factory. And if you register the controller factory, fxml will ask you to create your classes. And then you can introduce Google Juice, Spring, or whatever. And because I don't like any other dependencies, I created my very small, it's like 300 lines of code, dependency injector, which just supports inject nothing else. And this is just sufficient. But this is the actual hack. This is actually a great extension hook from JavaFX itself. You can register your own controller factory. And whatever is created by the fxml runtime will ask you, can you give me the class? And now you have the indirection. Everything crystal clear? You don't have to know this if you implement JavaFX UI. It is just interesting if you would like to have a Spring integration, whatever, or use Afterburner, wondering how it actually is working. So no magic there. Everything crystal clear? Should I repeat something? No? OK. Oh, this is my last slide. So this was fxml. And the basic idea is what I will show you, naming conventions. So as I saw fxml, I asked the question, how big is actually the fxml? Should I draw the whole application with it? A part of it, what is the relation between the fxml file and the application itself? Is it a view, a tab, or what is it? And for me, it was always suspicious that there is just one-to-one relation between controller and fxml. And I actually filed the bug at Oracle in the Jira and said there should be multiple controllers per fxml because otherwise they become huge. You just imagine one class with 5,000 public methods is not maintainable. And Oracle said it's intentional convention over configuration one-to-one. So OK, if it is intentional, we need another convention. And my convention was there is one tab or view or something which is drawn by, I don't know, UI designer or whatever. And there is exactly one package per view. And the package has always the same contents. This is the only idea of Afterburner, actually. And the contents are on the slide. So first, there is one class, one file with the name of the package, hello. So I'm assuming here there is one view with the name hello. OK, hello fxml. So there is a hello view. If you write the hello view and inherit from fxml view, what happens behind the scenes, it knows there has to be a file with the name hello fxml and loads it for you. So there is nothing to load, it's encapsulated, but it's a very simple trick. And there is a hello presenter. This is just nice to have something like this. And the hello presenter is just stock presenter initialized by JavaFX. But because JavaFX asked me to create a presenter, I created my own hook, and I'm supporting in the presenter add inject everywhere. Whatever is injected to the presenter and in the presenter itself, add inject, post construct, and pre-destroy is supported everywhere. And everything, whatever is injected is singleton, which always the case in Swing. There is no scopes, nothing. That simple, just this. Okay? This basically is, yes?
The view is a tab, a window, or a pen?
Whatever you like. This is usually a tab, subview, okay. Something more complex. This was Java related, so. And if you do this, you get a sample application. I will also start with this, but delete the sample application because I wanted to show you something from scratch. Okay? So that was the last slide. Thank you. Ignore it for a second. It should come in 1 hour. But and this is just examples what I created for myself for my own. The archetype, you can, of course, start from NetBeans as well, but it's the same as what is called Igniter. It's a sample application for JavaFX. And how to call it? Dukes. So, and now it could take a while because I have two internet. Oh, no, it was fast. Because I have actual internet connection with a cable. So I thought I have to talk for 5 minutes right now. So what happens if I start this? It will hopefully run. This is always exciting, particularly in the talks. So launch and create views, and it created asynchronous. It's 256 views. Each node is an XML class loaded with presenter and all the injection. So this was the performance. And this sample application just shows it's completely over-engineered. There's whatever is possible in Afterburner is within the application. So way too much for today. Why it's so complex? Many projects are using Afterburner. I got many requests. So there's Fraunhofer Institute for power plants or whatever. And I was really surprised. They have continuous integration with thousands of controls. So interesting stuff. And they asked me to implement some new features. And this was easy to do, so I implemented more features. But for my applications, I need only a subset. So what features? You can load configuration from property files, inject properties, override properties with system properties, and whatever. Lots of properties and configuration. Enterprise projects love properties. I'm just curious why no one asked about logging. It's also very, very popular in enterprise. So this is what every enterprise project starts with: logging and configuration, of course, right? So, questions? So I would delete everything because the deal was from scratch. And so what this actually is, it does way too much. So what we actually need is just, this is standard JavaFX. As you probably know, there should be a main method. And the main method invokes launch, which in turn invokes start. And why it's not compilable? Because we need a view. And I submitted, in the airplane, I wrote an article about this. And then I got a better idea how to structure the applications. And for instance, what I usually did, I created a folder here with the root view. So this is the skeleton view. And I think it's even simpler if you just put it in the root folder like here. So what I'm going to do, create exactly the files. I would start with fxml. And this is just XML file, is empty fxml. And what was, it was Dukes. The application is named Dukes. This is Dukes and finish, no controller, nothing. And as you can see, NetBeans tries to create the fxml in source main resources, which is nice, but I don't like it. What is, think better, that CSS and Dukes, everything is encapsulated in one package. This was the first change. So and I actually stole the idea from Wicked. I don't know, it's a web framework, and I use it a lot, and this was the same. And I really like it, because I don't like, to hop between source main Java and source main resources. So they did the same here. Why it works? Because in the Maven POM, I have to configure a little bit and say source main Java load also fxml and CSS. This is the tweak why it works. So Maven packages everything. I forgot to mention it's standard Maven 3 build here. Questions so far? No questions. So then,
wasn't the convention to have the name Dukes as the package name as well?
I think, yeah. This was the idea in the airplane. So I think the first view, I'm assuming we get more than one view. So I would like to create more than one view for you, And the main view, you know, what starts, the skeleton frame or whatever, I put it actually here in the root of the application. And usually the name would be callme-airhacks.dukes, but I don't like to rename it right now. And this is why I put it here. And actually, it would be even better if the name would be app here. So the one is strange, actually, and the first one, but the other one gets more reasonable. So Java class, I called it, what was it, app-view. And this app-view inherits from fxml view. And this basically is. So if you instantiate this, it will know that it will have to search for app fxml and load it. You are set. The most asked question is this class always empty? And the answer is sometimes you would like to extend the parent view or perform some tweaks, you can do this. But in all my project, it was empty. But you could do something, but it's surprisingly how well it works with Scene Builder. And I'm really surprised you have no questions, no criticism so far. Yeah. So a nice audience. Oh, very good. No. But you won't get the next T-shirt. Just warning.
No, why, if it's empty, why don't you like create it by reflection or something like that?
Because I need something to load, right? So then I will need a utility class, you know, to call it or something. Okay. This is the only reason. Yeah. I tried, what I think is this a CSS, empty CSS what?
No. Did you say that every time you create an XML?
Yes.
You create also a CSS that you put in the same directory?
The CSS doesn't have to be there, but it will be taken, and you can style the all application CSS. But this is true. The Afterburner also is able to load CSS if it finds one. You can use CSS, you don't have to. Yeah, you have CSS, 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 and the over CSS, or Uber. You know what Uber means. It's a German word, but you like it. So even a company. This name would never work in Germany, but here is a very popular, right? Uber. Okay, so you have one Uber CSS is loaded first, and then it's overridden. So yeah, how it works. App presenter is just a POJO. If you would like to use that is initializable from JavaFX, you can implement initializable, and then you have to implement an this method, and this method is invoked for initialization. It is actually nice for debugging whether it actually works. So now we are almost set, except what we have to do is we have to go to the app.xml here. This is empty. And I will have to say I would like to have a controller. And the controller is called airhacks follow me. Dukes were better. Follow me. And app presenter. And there's actually a NetBeans bug, what I recognized. It always creates two fxml IDs. I will have to report this. So I don't know why. It kept it just once, and now it will work. So, and this is this fxml is nice. As you can see, it is actually configuration of a builder or a factory. It's absolutely readable, and the best support for fxml editing you get with IntelliJ, really. So it is a two-way editing support between IntelliJ and the presenters. NetBeans is fine, but IntelliJ is better, I have to say. No problem. So save. And now I could do the following. What I only have to do is to say app view, view equals new app view. And view get view. So what view does, so what here happens, here is this fxml loaded and validated, and view get view returns the actual parent. So initialize everything and returns the parent.
Where is the fxml initialization?
Happens in the constructor, and the constructor is not there,
okay.
So it is in the super constructor. Okay. And then here. Okay? So let's see whether it actually works. works. If it works, it works. It is white, even for enterprise applications, a little bit too boring, right? So, or it would be iOS 10 or something. Yes, it's less and less, and this would be just white screen. So, hopefully a double, yes. So now you only have to double click on fxml, and IntelliJ, Eclipse, and NetBeans, they just launched the scene builder. So, and what I would like to do is to create a button here. And what's important, there is a code, fxid, and this is really important. So if I call this OK, now I can perform injection. So what it means, I'm in the presenter, I can do the following button. What's important is the name, OK. Convention over configuration, they have to match. fxml name and this name have to match. And what IntelliJ does, if they do not match, you get warning in the IDE, in the refactoring, and with standard scene builder, you get the error in the scene builder if they do not match. So, and what we need, fxml, and now it's injected.
Does it have to be protected, default protected, or can it be private?
It can be private, but what I always do is most of my project is always package private because of testability. This is what I do in Java-E, and this is also what I've done in JavaFX, but you are right, it could be private. Before I argue with architect, I do everything private. So, OK, I don't know, set text, initialized. So just restart this, initialized. Works, OK? Now, save is public. So we can go here and say button on action, save. It's recognized here, saving. And here we can say, OK, what we also would like to do is to have a text field. Text field and probably a label. Feel free to ask questions. I will just show you the basics. Yeah.
Do you support 3D as well, or just 2D?
Afterburner is, you mean 3D injection? This would be nice. I have to think. No, the Afterburner is not aware of any widgets, I would say. So it will work in 3D, but I have no particular support for 3D because it just don't care about the widgets. Only thing it does, it interacts with the fxml, or the fxml controller factory uses my injector, and this is the only integration between both. So you can use for 3D as well. 3D injection.
Just nodes.
But 3D injection is actually would be nice in the three-dimensional space. Any other question? Oh, you get a T-shirt, right? This was a perfect, valid question. And the other guy got also a T-shirt. I forgot. Yeah, you have to pick it up later. Yeah.
I'm really confused. What show until now? What is the JavaFX native and what is Afterburner?
Okay, it is everything JavaFX native, and what's Afterburners is this what you don't see. fxml load. You will have to do code like this. fxml load, and you will have to pass, the name of the file and file the file as resource. Then you have to think about the relation, but what is actually created. So this is what Afterburner solves. So the Afterburner is just the convention and convenient loading of everything. Yeah.
Do you have docs for Afterburner on the Afterburner?
I have multiple screencasts, the sample application, and Java doc is not there because obvious. And but no one complained about the docs, and I'm really surprised that how widely it is used. But I think the screencast is sufficient. So I created multiple screencasts. If everything is lacking, I'm really faster with screencasts than docs. I just will record in 2 minutes and publish this. It's much better than writing long documentations.
If you wanted to use an fxml in a different location, could you?
Everything, there's no private method. You can override everything, but this is never did this. But you could make it, but more interesting, this is loading, for instance, from different REST locations, something. This would be nice. So you can dynamically load views. This would be really exciting. Yeah?
Did I hear you say
No. What I will do, I will just create the basics first, so to show you how it basically works, and then make it more complicated. So I will try to recreate the view in that way that we get two partitions, north and south, or create some split or accordion or whatever. And then we have the problem. Now we have one view with two subviews, and how to deal with this. And then you will see what I meant by this.
And then follow up on the other question. Is it that the controller and the XML file with Afterburner still need to be in the same package, or can they be in different packages?
Controller can be whenever you like. What is only important that the view and fxml have to share the same convention. Otherwise, it won't get found. The container is the presenter can be somewhere else, and all the models and services can be somewhere else. The view and fxml should be somewhere in the same package, in the same Java package right now.
And then the last question, I apologize.
No, it's perfect.
On the CSS files, I'm new to JavaFX, but all the examples I see that the CSS files are in the package. Can they be outside the package? So when it's compiled into a jar file, you don't have to go inside that jar file, manipulate the CSS, can it be outside of it?
They are loaded with get resource as stream, but you can also pass an input stream, and then you can load from whenever you like.
That way you can have.
Yeah. And what the Afterburner does in the POM XML, what I created is, I think it's configured Maven dependency plugin. And what it does, all the dependencies from your projects are pulled, and one large jar file is created, which you can start with Java -jar. So this is already done for you.
So you never tried doing FXML and CSS files from REST services pulling? So downloading them and...
I didn't even try this because Bruno does this. There is a Bruno Borges, there is an Oracle evangelist, and what Bruno Borges created is like a web browser. So it downloads the fxml file from a location and creates everything on the fly. So I know it works, and I could do this here, but it was never requested. But this would be fun, actually. If you have such feature requirement and can say, I really need it for my project, I would implement happily for you. It is not boring, something new. Okay. So
in your design, what does the view get you since it's just an empty class versus having that link directly to the controller?
What I tried to explain last year is Model-View-ViewModel is the name of Microsoft system pattern, or presentation model is the generic name. And the Java class and fxml are actually the view.
Right. So when you're reacting to it, though, you've got two classes interacting with that view, right? Because you're not getting any code in the app view.
No, in the app view, you can, if you like, you could create your own components and put the components afterwards here.
Okay, so you would use that to build the screen rather
Yes.
than control it.
The view is just creator. The relation between the view and presenter, if you have the view, you can create the presenter and or use it for after creation of something. Very good. Very good question. Wow.
So does your Afterburner design stipulates that we have to identify the controller inside the FXML?
Yes.
Usually what I'd like to do is to go to my view and say the set controller to say that this way we can have multiple controllers referencing the same element.
No one complained about this. So if you try to file an issue, I get lots of, for instance, many would like to have scopes, in CDI scopes, and always ask the question why, and there is no answer. They just like it. So, but if you have a reason for this, write the reason, I will implement this, because it doesn't seem to be hard. But right now, the idea of Afterburner is don't make me think. It's always the same. Whatever package I open, it's always the same structure without any variations. This is what I like in enterprise. There should be boring design over and over again, so there is no questions.
But in the current design now, does the FXML stipulate that FX.controller be foreign controller be identified there?
Yes, but this is fxml design. What I don't know, this is actually an interesting idea, whether I need it, because I could probably directly, but I think it is still needed, because it parses and then asks me, but yeah. Any other questions? Okay, so I would call this input, this output, and saving is always dangerous in my case. My errors are I forgot to save. So text field, input, fxml and label output. So now, of course, I can say here output dot set text input get text or something else. Input. Oh, this was input get text. So started. Oh yeah. So you see it works. So it's, and of course, what you can do, you can also say output, and this is actually the power of JavaFX, bind, no, text property, yes, text property, bind to input text property. And forgot to start. And now is Angular talk, right? This is first what happens in Angular session, they show you this. So, questions so far?
This binding that you said that it did, it only works for XML properties as well, or no?
No, this was plain JavaFX. So what I show you right now is just JavaFX. There's nothing to do anymore with Afterburner. After everything is created, there is no.
Yeah, but what I mean is, can I bind this to a JPA instance, for example?
Yeah, yes. So actually, Afterburner. So why the name Afterburner? Because I created AirHacks control. This was attendee management for the airport workshops. And this was exactly the case. I had JPA object, which was bound to the UI, to the table. Okay. And if you search for AirHacks control, you will find it in GitHub. You can still download and look at this. And then my wife took over, and she said, OK, I don't like the application. I will use Excel. And then I use it now as an example. So this is the set through. Probably something not right with the CSS, I assume, you know. So, but and then I extracted Afterburner after the fact. So Afterburner and airport. So Afterburner is the perfect name. It was extracted after it was created. So any other questions?
I didn't see what you get the method save.
Public method is visible. This is standard. Has nothing to do with Afterburner. It just works always in SceneBuilder. Very good. If you are private, you will have to use XML annotation. Very good. Any other questions? No questions? Then let's say this view is not sufficient for your enterprise application. It needs to be a little bit more complex, right? So yeah. Then what I would assume, first I will delete this. This is always dangerous a little bit. Oh, this was too much.
No, Control C.
Yeah, this is okay. I thought it's a bug. So what usually you would do is either, I think the best one here is split pane, I think. Something like this. And what was it? This one. So I have a split pane. And now I have the problem, if I start this, this is empty. And I have two anchor panes. Anchor panes is something like JPanels in Swing. And now where the Afterburner really shines, because the first view is empty. And then I will create two packages. One package for this view and the other one for the other view. So I can have as many nested fxml files as I like. And this is why it scales. And this is why probably it is used so much in larger projects. You got the idea? So now I go here and say this is anchor pane. And this I call north. And this one is south. And now I can do the following. I can go to my presenter and say, this was nice, but we don't need it anymore. And we have here anchor pane north, which is injected, and anchor pane south, which is injected. And now the question is, and now what, right? We have two empty panes injected. So, and now I will create two packages, north and south. Here create the two views, fetch the view, and associate with the anchor pane. So so you can create whatever you like and switch it really quickly. And also interesting, you can create as many instances of a view as you like. This is really important. So if you have a table or whatever, you would like to create as many rows as you like. So there were many requests to create just one, a singleton, but this is wrong in my eyes. Yeah, I could add the split pane, split pane, but because I'm lazy, I just decided to inject a subset of the split pane, which is far more effective. And even, I just forgot, don't even have to be an anchor pane. It could be the superclass, what I forgot. So the anchor pane is already too much. You know, this is something above the anchor pane, which is sufficient. Parent? No parent, this is too generic. It's, okay.
Object.
Object is perfect. Object would work. And then reflection. You get a t-shirt for this, for the object. Okay? You said an object?
Yep.
You have already a t-shirt? No. No. Oh, sorry. I'm out of shape, just a programmer. So, let's do it. New folder, no folder, let's say Java class, follow me north. The same story again. North view, exactly. Extends fxml view, fxml view. What I'm thinking about is to create a simple NetBeans plugin which creates the two files, and actually a conversation in the airplane. So probably it would be a job for you after the show, because he said me in 1 hour you can do this. And because you could say create new view, and it will create, you know, the folder, the empty fxml, and two classes, period. This would be really nice, because I don't hate typing, and now I have to, right? So then presenter again, north presenter. I think Sven is already starting with this, right? New fxml. Where was it? Empty fxml. This is, of course, north. And the only strange thing is I always have to do this, because right now I cannot configure NetBeans. Actually, I have to talk to the NetBeans folks. So yeah, now it's created. And now I can use it again, you know, to do something else here. Let's say a toolbar is nice. Save. So north presenter, what I have to do is as well, I have to put the controller. And this is a little bit redundant. This was the comment, I think, from the airhacks, follow me. Any other questions? So ask me the questions. If not, I will just hack the application. So for you, north, as actually promised, north. fxml, still fxml. So NetBeans likes the IDs here.
The package has to be like only one depth. It can be many depths.
Of this? This doesn't matter. You can put the north presenter.
Yeah, but it said north, south, and I feel like north.west, for example.
It can be here under the north. You can have any packages you like. This is actually in one of my projects called Lightfish. I have like a monitor widget, and within the monitor widget, I have method monitor widgets, and this is a deeper hierarchy than this. It should be sufficient. So what we can do here in app presenter, now we can say north view, north view equals new north view. And then view, get view. And now I can say it was north.get children, I think. Add. And this is manual, but I think it cannot be. So, but this is the connection between both. Questions?
Yeah, why not including the fxml directly?
I think it is too error prone, but You can always do this. You can always include. You can decide here now to have multiple FXML, but it's a good point. What you can have as many FXML as you like here with inclusion. It will always work. Any other question? Let's see whether it works actually. Doesn't. Oh, this is my standard. Now it's saved. Hopefully works now. So you see the beautiful view. So this is about the partition. And now it can be as complex as you like. This was the basic idea of partition. I will skip the south view because it will be exactly the same. Yeah. It never happened to me because the views are always small. And I really hacked it together. And what sometimes happens that it is no more able to lay out anymore, so you have to enclose it in a parent or something. But it was never inconsistent. So and I never got such feedback from the projects.
What would be the advantage of this over using like a sub-FXML view inside of Road? So you create the view in FXML and then this. So you can do that, right?
With includes.
Right. So what would be the advantage of doing it this way versus Road?
If you include this, I don't know what's about the instances. Right now I can decide how many the upper views I have. If you include it, you have one instance, I think, of everything. And now it is more flexible. And I think they're easier as well. You don't have to play with the FXML. But you can still use the FXML. You can say, no, I decide here for this view, I just use includes. It will always work. You know, this is just add-on. And because if I create multiple instances of this, you know, I can say north is also south, right? Okay. This can be a little bit confusing. But this is time saver. Who didn't attend the talk would say he is crazy. North is south. So and now I have two instances of the same view here. And with the include, it won't work. And now something, what you also have usually is a communication with the backend. And this is usual Pojo. I call it Duke service, of course, Duke service. No, Duke microservice. We don't have any services anymore. So now you can claim you are also in microservice talk. So it's called initialize and post construct and destroy, pre-destroy. And here a method called hello. And it just says hello. And this is init. And this would be destroy. So and now the added value is, I can say here, the north presenter, I can inject the Duke microservice, or short DMS. And here I have public void safe, and it will call DMS hello. So, and of course, I need another button. Let's use this one. Button, code, action, save. So it's saved. Let's try this. You see init, button, hello, it works. So, and you can have as many injection points as you like. I can inject here another class, and there is no distinction between model and services, but I described several times this is either a service or model. The only difference is service talks to the backend and model holds state. So you can inject the same model to multiple presenters, multiple views, and access shared state. And this can be either a service or model, but from the architectural point of view, you can have both, right? But there is no distinction between services and models in Afterburner. Everything is just Pojo, which is injected.
You already have two buttons, as you said. You made two instances.
Two instances, but one is associated with this and the other is not, because I have two FXML. No, now it's good. Now it's one. You have just one. This is one. The one is you have two instances
Of Northview?
of Northview, which one is actually south, but, and I have both are associated with the
Same VMS?
the same VMS, but the other one, the presenter, it should work in both. Yeah, this is exactly the same. Yeah, but init was called only once because the service is shared. Yeah. Okay, very good.
Why, if I wanted one for each, how would I do that?
You will have to copy the FXML, right? It's like what we did.
No, one DMS for each instance.
One
Do make microservice for each instance of Northview?
It's not supported right now. Everything which is ejected is singleton.
Okay.
And if not, just create with new. I thought about I could implement own annotations, but this is the beginning of the end. Garbage collection and everything else. So if you need more complex stuff, hook, Spring or Juice or Weld, which is also used. But I really don't. This is just sufficient. And I just reviewed my old Swing project. It was the same story. You had a presenter and usual and singleton, or something which belonged to the presenter was always the case. And usually this is actually a really bad example because you have two instances of the same. This was just to show you that quickly. Usually you will have, this is a north view and below a really south view, which are independent. And if you like to share the stuff, it's on purpose. So you have one model somewhere else and inject it twice. So this is actually not a real world example, but this was not in the title, just productive. It doesn't have to be real world. So questions? Everyone happy?
So if you had one view injected into multiple panels, if you updated it in one spot, would it automatically, the UI automatically update?
View are not injectable. You cannot inject views. The injection works starting with the presenter. And what's also interesting, sometimes you need the reference to the presenter. You can do this by asking the view for the presenter. So you can say here view.get presenter, and you have to cast what you have to reference to the presenter. Okay. What's also supported asynchronous loading of views. This was in the large project. So it is supporting with lambda. So what you could also equally well do is to say, let's make the thing south view get view async, and it expects a consumer of parent, an object which consumes parents. An object which consumes parents. This is actually a dangerous statement here. It is not on purpose, so not that I got some trouble. So I think this is the code. What it actually means, it loads with own internal pool all views asynchronously. If it's done, it passes automatically, now invokes the method children add. And it does write with the FXML, how it's called, worker or something, like Swing worker. So it happens in the UI dispatching thread.
So does the FX, does it get rid of the handler or the listener?
Pardon?
Does it get rid of it? I haven't seen FX till today, so I don't.
What do you?
Like, say, when you click the button.
You have this. There is an action handler, change listener, and whatever.
Yeah, all the stuff.
But with Sim Builder, you usually don't need it. Usually, if you're working with tables, more complex stuff is just standard. But even is way better than Swing. And the nice stuff is all the listeners in JavaFX are functional interfaces, SAMs, single abstract methods, I think is the. So you can use lambdas for everywhere. This is, I use also lambdas in Afterburner inside, which is really, really nice. So this is just asynchronous loading. Was actually requested by a larger project because they loaded a huge amount of the dynamic views and they wanted to do it asynchronously.
How do you start a Swing worker thread?
How I do it? not swing, rather than there is a executor, cache thread pool, and there is somewhere, you see this is the hook, and somewhere is, it works platform run later. This was the method. Okay. And I use completable future from Java 8 and bind them together. Okay. But this is the entire code of the fxml view. So all convention, all the threading is 200 lines of code, and there is a 200 lines of code is the injector. So this is really just two classes, and the third class was just introduced for configuration, loading of properties. So this is actually really, really simple. So afterburner doesn't matter. The purpose of the talk is more to show you the ideas, what you can do. And this works really well. So I was really surprised. I never believed in what you see is what you get editors. But this works really well. And what happens in worst case? In worst case, you make a small portion of your view inconsistent, and you can redraw this so you can minimize the risk. And in our swing projects back then, if something blew up, there was really investment of multiple days, right? And here is no risk. So in the worst case, I just overwrite the get view and write everything by myself. And what I also like, there's XML is somehow readable. So if you look at this, it is actually the same hierarchy which you will write in code, so you can convert more or less directly this into Java code if you like. I think we have 5-10 minutes or something, right? So we like to see something. So what I could do is, for instance, if I put a file called configuration.properties in folder, I could inject with inject all the contents of the property file into presenter, for instance. Sure. So this is working, but it would work, but you can also believe me. So I would rather answer questions if you have any. I don't think there's any limitation, I would say. So really not, because this is just a convention. If you don't like the convention, I would say then you shouldn't use it, because. But there is nothing behind. I would argue it's just a little things which created this. And before we stop, I just would like to open the Maven build, because there are two things which are optional, but they are creating. I integrated JavaFX packager. What it does, it outputs executable file. So I can go to command line and invoke java -jar, and it will start everything. All dependencies you declare here, regardless of which they are included in one single jar. And this is the Maven dependency plugin. And this is the configuration that everything is loadable from source main Java. Someone asked me, could it be somewhere else? Of course, then you have to change this here, the convention. Then it is in another package. OK, sorry, someone asked a question? Yeah. If it's a really large and you need a plugin concept, you have to talk to Sven or someone. Sven Reimers is a NetBeans RCP guru, because in NetBeans you have the plugin concept, and you could mix and match plugins with JavaFX. But how to start? With the menu and tabs or something. So you need first an idea. But how I would approach this, usually you get from a product manager screens or use cases, whatever, and I would just take the name of the use case, create a package, and start. I would always look for association between a use case or a requirement and my application. And in the case of Afterburner, it's just a package. It always was. So if I have a concept, I always create a package. This is my start. And then put classes. If it turns out that there is more complexity than this, I create sub-packages. This was actually your question, yeah? So, many sub-packages. You can structure whatever you like. But let's say 3 main tabs, 3 base packages, which in main tabs has an accordion or split pane, so I get 2 sub-packages. This was the basic structure. And this is the real power of this, I would say.
How do you do navigation between views?
If you have tab, it happens automatically.
For example, if I click a button and I want to open a new form.
I created it recently, and I think it's actually in my example. It's called Predicator. This is the last application which I created actually for me. And what it is, but if I save, it opens another view. What was this the question? Opens or navigates. So opens is simple. You just say stage and open. And navigate, you will what you will need as reference to the presenter from the main view. Okay. And then you expose method like left or right and invoke the method. Okay. This is the case where you might need the reference to the presenter.
What if the presenter needs something in the constructor?
Constructor injection is supported. So what you can do, you can create a view and pass something like a map. But the great story is, this is Java 8, so you can pass a function. And function is, it resolves key to a value. So you can create a fxml view, pass a function, and say, take this, and this injected. It is in the example, which comes with Afterburner, it comes with this. Because each view, you saw that the color changed from black to red. This was an injected parameter. So you can pass individual parameters to each view instance. Okay?
Why MVP? In this example, you got no model at all, right?
Yes.
So is everything in the presenter itself?
No, usually, I mean, I'm also at the beginning, I'm doing this for 2 years or something, but the model is more state of the application, and there is no state. I wouldn't put any state to presenter right now. So I would create an additional class and call it whatever after a domain concept, and this holds the state. So what this does, it evaluates in Nashorn lambdas, which I needed for a grid application. So I hacked a very simple application in 1 hour with JavaFX and to try this. So another example, Floyd, it searched for Docker containers for microservices, scans the whole network, and this is the state, which is found is put to a model. And this pink, you will find in my GitHub account, so you can look at this. There's a model with all the state, and there's a service which communicates via REST to the external services. So, okay. So, yeah?
So for that model, if it was going to go back to the back end and say it was going to be a JPA entity, would you be using like EJBs to?
Yes. What I did right now, because I got so many questions, I wanted to hack a very simple RESTful web service from the backend and access this from the service. It would be easiest. And then I get JSON object and bind whatever I like. So this would be probably a nice for you to see that it works, but it wouldn't have nothing to do with the concept. But this is actually what happens all the time. And we use either WebSockets or JAX-RS plain. For JAX WebSockets, you need Tyrus. TYRUS is the reference implementation of WebSocket, so the server can push to all JavaFX applications. And for JAX-RS, I just use the Jersey reference implementation, but you can equally well use REST Easy or CXF or whatever. What I have also stickers, not many stickers. So if you would like to have stickers, laptop stickers, you get stickers for free. T-shirts. You ask a question, you are the first one, and the next one is how to say. So one T-shirt is locked for you, and the others have to fight for it, I would say. So any other questions? If not, please eval the session and write whether it's better than last year or not. So is it better to code or to see the slides? This is the most interesting question. Thank you. And and stickers if you like. Sure.
Are they all the same size?
Huh?
Are they the same size?
Or large.
Large?
I have just large, sorry.
Oh, yes. Good.
You have one left for me? If not, that's okay. Thank you. Appreciate your time. Very informative.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm starting a big app, and I have no idea where to start with the structure.
Just try it. If not, just file an issue. I'm really curious whether it works. But I'm surprised that it works so well for so many projects. I'm really surprised because it's simplistic. There's nothing behind, actually, if you look at this.
It looks real interesting. I like the concept of the packaging. And
this is when I saw JavaFX, this was my first question, how to use it. And I thought, what was the question, how big is actually the FXML? Is it large, small, what is it actually, right? And I tried to solve it this way, and project seems to like it. So
I will take a look at it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You have a great day.
So you mentioned WebSockets. If you have control of the client and the server side,
Yes.
what would be the lightest weight, simplest service that you could do? Would you go REST or?
I would go REST because it doesn't matter from the simplicity.
Spring remoting.
And the simplest is really JavaE with REST and yeah, it would take 5 minutes to implement with full stack with JavaE, and Spring would be the hardest because yeah. But I created a screencast I think for JAX-RS. I could record one for WebSockets, but this is simplistic. This is really simplistic. You need 3 annotations on the server if you have application server, and on the client you need the Tyrus. There's about 3 lines of code and the communication is set. So there's really nothing to show actually.
And REST is testable as heck.
Not only testable, there is less problems with firewalls, proxies, and all the stuff. So, and testable, so I would always try JAX-RS first, and WebSockets if you need server push or something.
So I've got another question, and
Very good.
This will take you back a couple of years. So for the model, so your JPA entities, the big thing we always go through is we want CDI injection in our JPA entities, and somehow this never happens. Have you gotten any progress? Have you gotten them to do it?
You know that I wanted to propose it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
No, they from the JPA specs say no, it is not clean. It's like yes, but nothing happened. So. Yeah. Did you complain actually?
I have. No,
you see, you see. No one complained.
People.
Just
right.
I'm complaining. They say no one complains. What's the problem, right?
Right. So yeah. So I was hoping like CDI2 was like.
The problem is not CDI. The problem is the JPA entities because there's different life cycle. But it's really useful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I did actually here.
It ruins the rich domain object.
What I did in my JavaFX application, I loaded the JPA objects in the JavaFX application without any remoting. With Derby, it was perfect. Because if you would like to have your own store, just go with it. And this was actually the idea. And the main idea was the fields were properties, JavaFX properties, and the getters and setters were annotated and exposed the properties as strings, integers, and so forth. So JPA didn't even knew that it used JavaFX, and JavaFX bound to the properties. So